Have you taken your meds today? I have, because I have a cold. And because I have a cold, I've been playing more Marvel Rivals, more just games in general, because not much I can do, I'm super tired, and I'm just staying in my bed. And it has made me realize that my video about the CCs and how I think, oh, he actually kind of cooked, throw that out the fucking window. I don't agree with that anymore. Because the problem. Okay, it punishes several small CCs way more than it punishes the long ones. I've been grabbed by Wolf, pulled by Invis, and then hit with the charm by White Fox, and I didn't get anything procced. I'm in the air for a while with Wolf, and does that not count as a CC? Because I've been in a full length Elsa ult where she hits me and I'm hit immediately because I'm on the front line. She ran to the front line to do it, and I go all the way back and all the way past their back line because they just kept backing up with it. Then my team never shot it. None of that counted as a CC. I didn't get freed at any point in that. That's stupid. The longer CCs were the problem. It's the fact that Angela can push you for a while so often. It's the fact that every 12 seconds Wolverine gets to move you and have his way with you, and then other people can stun you as well. The things I talked about not being a big problem in that video, I still don't think they're a big problem, but I don't think anybody's really focused on what the biggest problem is, and it's that the longer CCs don't count. It's every individual one. I have been, well, it is if you've been stunned for this amount of time within a short duration, but how does that tick up, right? Because I have been stunned by Strange, lived through the entire Strange ult, and then stunned by Wanda, it was placed right on me, so I don't even get to move. Stunned by Wanda again, immediately hit with Angela ult. The problem with that is, I was dead regardless of the Angela ult. The Angela ult, by the way, did not proc anything. I didn't get any tenacity, didn't get any cleanse, nothing. So that sequence was fucked up. And then I didn't get anything there. But I was dead regardless. All three of those went off. I can't pick up a shield. I was playing Strange for this. I can't use a shield. I can't get away. I can't reposition. I'm out in the open. I had so much damage from the Strange ult come in. I'm already dead. That's the biggest issue with this. That by the time these effects kick in, you are already dead. And I would love to say, take away the CC changes, make it first CC is full, then second is a little less, then next and next. And as you go on, it becomes more and more resistant to it. And then only give that to tanks, because they do suffer from it the most. Because if you get stunned twice as a DPS, you are dead. You're just going to die before anything happens. So these effects won't ever change the DPS. I'm 100% certain on that if you're getting stunned that many times on DPS that it comes out and procs, how were you alive? Your supports were doing God's work to keep you alive there, because you were probably dead. There's no way you live without them just fully focusing you, and because they focused you, your team probably lost a few members, right? So it does affect tanks the most. So just do that, only give it to tanks. But the problem with that is then you get things like Wolverine, Thor, and Angela, who all really focus on displacing and would really benefit, do really benefit from displacing tanks, Wolverine specifically. So if somebody stuns them so the Wolverine can grab them, well, now Wolverine's grab is 10% less effective. Which, I mean, maybe you could start on it's a 5% increase after your first one, then 10, 5%, then 15, then 20, and you make it then 15, then 35, and the amount that you gain resistance is exponential. So it's you gain 5% first, and then double 5%, you get 10%, then 10% doubled is 20, so you'll get 20% added on. But then, even then, you still have the problem of okay, well, now tanks are just kind of unCCable. Why would you ever CC them? I think the best solution, bar none, is change or remove most of the CCs in the game. There are so many. There are so many. We have several tank characters with kits designed to, or got added features to kind of make them irrelevant. Emma has diamond form. Thing is still stunnable, but he can't be moved by force, which I hate the fact that anything that moves and also has a stun will still stun him. It just shouldn't affect him. but whatever. That's my own personal preference. I just think it's stupid. And then, uh, and then Groot's Ironwood Wall now makes him invulnerable to all stuns. Not all stuns, okay? It's every effect. You can't blind him. You can't weaken him. Same thing as Diamond Form, because you can't do that to Emma on Diamond Form, I'm pretty sure. I know you can't apply vulnerability to Emma on Diamond Form. I think you can still blind her, though. Same with Groot. But whatever. The point is that those characters become so overpowered because there's less. Because, for example, CCs are supposed to do like 3 things. 1. Punish people who are overextending. 2. Cut off consistent damage flow. There was a third one, but my head hurts and I can't think of it right now. But I think Invisible Woman's CCs are an actually very good, very balanced version of this. She has the push and pull. It's tied to one cooldown, so you have to make choices. You can either pull in someone who's overextending, like a tank who's overextending, and punish them for overextending. Push someone off to lower the damage flow from Brawl dive characters, specifically Brawl dive characters, because it doesn't work against people like Psylocke and Star-Lord as well, since they are ranged, and pushing them away doesn't really do that much. And then her Tickle Orb, that's what I call it, it's her shift, her Tickle Orb. You can either throw it to punish flyers who are playing too high. You can throw it on an off angle to punish people who are on that off angle, and now if they go there, they're overextended because they're slowed by the pulling in effect that it has, and they're taking tick damage. You can punish them and control space with those. And the shield is stupid. The shield slows you if you walk through it, by the way, in case you didn't know. And that is particularly stupid for this reason. When you could place it on other people, it was fine, because they have a shield, and if you walk through their shield, you get punished because 1, you've overextended, now you're behind a shield and you don't get heals. 2, you're slowed, and it slows you, punishing you in both ways. It's like if you walk through a Strange who has his shield up, you're not going to get heals. Him holding his shield up, or Mag holding their shield up, will prevent heals. Same thing with a Bubble. And it's good in that way. It does the same thing, and so adding the slow there works. Now, once you have the ability to give it to yourself, you just get punished for being near Invisible Woman at all. Because there's always the chance you might go through it, then you get slowed down, and that doesn't make any sense. But those two, the other two, I think are really good examples of what CCs are supposed to do. What does Moon Knight's do? You probably didn't realize Moon Knight had a CC. It's on his Ankh. His Ankh has a CC, pulls people in, and is always, unless you're really bad at the game, and you just throw it out to do nothing with, tied to an immediate chain of damage. Even if someone stands in front of it, the chances that they stand in front of it, get hit by it, hits you and the Ankh, really high, right? So, it pulls people in, CCs, interrupts things. It's not the biggest interruption, but it does interrupt some things, like Strange Shift. I noticed it a lot with Strange Shift. There's a lot of CCs in this game that are just like a little boop, and it'll cancel the animation, and I keep the cooldown, but it interrupts it, and so you have to like press it 3 or 4 times sometimes, and it's stupid. But what does that do? Oh, if a DPS has the third thing is specifically for DPS, to hold in place or to set up damage. That's what the I guess it doesn't make Sue's shield stupid. I just hate it. I just hate the self shield. They should vote her shield and everything that they've been changing over and over back to how it was before they gave her self shield, and then take away self shield. Like I think you do that, she's fine. But whatever, not important. That's a debate we can have later. The important part is, I remember the third thing. So someone like Hela, it does that perfectly. It's so short that it's kind of just like a stagger, and it kind of pulls you in a little bit, but it just locks you in place for a second so they can hit a headshot. You boom, bam. It's rewards good aim on both the CC and your primary, and it only holds you in place for like a second. Not enough to really mess you up. The problem is, it's a full stun. It is a full, hard stun, unlike Squirrel Girls. Like Squirrel Girl, you can still act during it. You cannot act or do anything in the middle of a Hela stun. Why? You're not going to be using that on characters who have shields who are going to block your next thing. And if you use it on somebody with really good mobility that they run away, then you pulled out their mobility. That's a good thing. Like the fact that it's a full hard CC, so frustrating. And then Phoenix's right click is the same thing. It's just Hela's E, Hela's stun, but 3 times and in a whole row. Like that's also really stupid, really frustrating. There's a lot of CCs in this game that just don't need to be CCs. Or if they are CCs, just change the way that they function. Like the Hela one. Why is it a full hard CC? And then on top of that, things that are considered CC, like slow, grounded. Grounded is not a CC. I don't care. It's an effect, just like blinding, just like vulnerability. It's not a CC though, because tell me how you can use tenacity. If I have tenacity procced off thing slam, because it's possible to do that, how does that CC me? How do you get less of CC from grounded? You can't. Which is why they didn't count it in the timer, I'm pretty sure. Pretty damn certain it's not counted in their timers because it's not CC. You can't do any of that. Effects need to be separated from CCs, like slow should not be a CC. So many characters are made worthless because Black Widow essentially cannot ult, or you'll be standing in it, it'll slow you, you'll get CC, you'll get tenacity and stuff. If Mr. Fantastic uses his right click, you get moved against your will, and Mr. Fantastic's is a good example of that. They could have made that a hard stun. Like when you get slammed together, hard stun, like Magneto right click. But they didn't. It just moves you. Because it doesn't have to be a hard stun. It's just a displacement ability. You can either pull them towards you, you can pull 2 people together. It's just a displacement. That's good. It also slows them, which is greatly needed, but the fact is that it's displacement. Mags does not need to be a hard stun. Increase the amount of displacement, like increase the amount of displacement, divvy it up into thirds, and so each segment gets a little bit displacement all the way up to third, and then take away the hard stun from it. It's not going to make him worse by a considerable margin. It's not like he's going to be, oh, Mag's unplayable now. It just removes unnecessary CC from the game. It's now, I never use it to CC, by the way. And it's not a hard stun, quote unquote, because I know when you use it to, because I've done it, use it to block Strange, to push him and try and get him not to hit your team with the ultimate. It doesn't cancel it, but it does interrupt your gameplay loop. Like if I'm pressing primary fire, I am unable to primary fire for a bit. It doesn't cancel abilities, but it prevents you from doing them. It shouldn't have to. There's a lot of things in this game that function like hard CCs or just not hard CCs, quote unquote, because they don't cancel abilities, but they still work. Like White Fox Charm. White Fox's Charm should be used as increase the invulnerability frames that it gives to your teammates. Hold up, hear me out. This is all off the top of my head though, but if you disagree, just let me know, because I don't know I'm just making shit up. Increase the amount of vulnerability frames it gets, and instead of being a hard CC, it just charms. You lose control over WASD, and you have to walk towards it. You lose control over your left click too, and it becomes not your left click, your mouse. You are forced to look at and go towards her, and that's all it does. That would be good. You doesn't need to be a hard CC that can cancel every single thing in the game, because once you start doing that, then it becomes really hard. The game, or do it like Mag right click, how Mag right click is now, where it doesn't cancel ongoing abilities, but it prevents you from doing things. So like I said, it interrupts the gameplay loop while you're in that state of being pushed back by Mag right click. I cannot primary fire. But if I was already in Strange Ult, it doesn't interrupt the Strange Ult. You could do something like that. There's so many hard CCs and so many minor CCs that just people just have. It feels like they've tacked blank on a CC onto an ability because it wasn't strong enough, to where they now need to do this. But at the same time, I'm kind of afraid that if they removed all these CCs, it would go over really terribly. So yeah, I was wrong. To recap real quick before I end this, because we're hitting 15 minutes. I think brain just shut down. I was wrong about my last CC video. My video about all the CCs in the last one, I was wrong. It is a bigger problem than it is. But not for the right reasons that I thought it would be, or that other people thought it would be. It's because it doesn't punish the right ones, and it doesn't punish them in the way that it should. And it's by the time that it has already kicked in, you are already dead in most scenarios. How do I fix that? There's a list of ideas that I've given. I've given a list, I think 2 or 3 ideas on how to I would fix that. If you agree, let me know. Hit the like button, subscribe if you thought I was entertaining. And if you don't agree, at least tell me why. I got a comment section. I read every comment. And I was gonna say I know where you live, but that seemed a little too aggressive. I will see you guys in the near future.